Grand evening, everyone. It is Monday, September 22nd, 2025. It is 1600 hours in the evening, and we have definitely at least code red level breaking news, a step down from code black. We definitely have major breaking news today to talk about. Few different things. I don't think it'll be as long as the last time, which last video turned out to be the longest one I've done yet, the longest live stream. As this as well is initially a live stream recording that is just posted to the YouTube channel. So we have this here. I showed last time what Turkey did about 10 years ago. They shot down a Russian fighter jet that flew into Turkish airspace. I believe it was even a mistake, like an accident, and Turkey shot it down. So now, after the Russian fighter jets violated Estonian airspace, Poland's prime minister announces that Poland won't hesitate to shoot down every flying object that violates Poland's airspace. So that's one thing they said. It was literally said by I believe the foreign minister, that they would shoot down anything that violates their airspace, even if it's an accident or a mistake, they're going to shoot it down. So Poland is taking a very firm stance as to what they'll be doing if the Russians fly any drones or fighter jets into their airspace. Now, what's interesting too is I don't exactly recall if I mentioned this the last time. Yeah, this came out yesterday. President Trump says he will help defend Poland and the Baltic states if Russia escalates. So that's quite the opposite. It's like a 180 as to what he said not long ago, when he said that, I pointed this out, and Kamala Harris called him out years ago because Trump he backed away a little bit from NATO and all of that. He did a 180. He was backing away. Now it's like a day or two later, he comes out and says he will help defend Poland and the Baltic states if Russia escalates. And hopefully that's a military response, not just sending in weapons or something of that sort. This is crazy how much he likes to stay totally out of even the right things. Now, this is one of the craziest things I've seen this week. This is insane. Uh, the USA says it will impose sanctions on the ICC, the International Criminal Court, for investigation into Israel. So, because the International Criminal Court is investigating Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel's genocide that they're doing in Gaza, Trump is coming out and wanting to put sanctions on the International Criminal Court. Crazy stuff right there. He is such a all in. He's so all in with when it comes to Israel and everything that they do. It's insane to put sanctions on the ICC. So now Germany's armed forces, on another note here from Geo Insider, Germany's armed forces are planning for up to 1,000 wounded troops per day in a potential NATO Russia conflict, with hospital trains, frontline stabilization, and expanded medical services. This comes after France revealed hospitals are preparing for 10 to 50,000 casualties by 2026. So France is preparing even further than what Germany is right now. Uh, France is preparing for high casualties, total war, high casualties by 2026. It's really going as I predicted. I mean, summer has just ended. It is now the first day of fall. I thought there'd be a bit more going on than there is right now. It'd be into the full kinetic phase, like NATO firing at Russians and so on, East versus West, totally. Thought that would happen by right around now. We're just about there. I expect now, new prediction, by this sometime this winter, that'll be happening. Uh, it's looking like that'll happen before this winter, as we have Article 4 invoked once again because of those 3 Russian fighter jets that flew into Estonian airspace. So NATO will be meeting tomorrow after Estonia invoked NATO Article 4 following a violation of its airspace by 3 Russian fighter jets on Friday. So we have Article 4 being invoked once again by another NATO country. This is like strike 2. I don't know why. Hopefully, NATO decides not to deal with it anymore and they get more involved. It's pretty crazy that they're so afraid of Russia. This is almost as insane, if not just as insane, as what Trump is doing. Maduro has started weapon training for civilians, hoping that they will fight against U.S. Marines if the U.S. would invade Venezuela. So they're having a bunch of women, uh, even some elderly people, I believe. It's crazy, crazy stuff that they're having women, especially like this one who's 300 pounds, something like that, running around, and this is a large meat shield that's supposed to be put in front of Maduro because he's so afraid and desperate, because thousands of Marines and a large part of the Navy are about to deal with the cartels in Venezuela. Yet Maduro is putting everything he can in front of himself and these cartels. He's totally defending the cartels and himself, putting even heavy women in front of him. That's how desperate he is. It's insane. He really cares about himself and the cartels over there more than any of these women's lives. Now we have this. The U.S. Press Secretary Levitt says TikTok's algorithm will be secured and retrained. Trump will sign the deal later this week. So it is Monday. So hopefully by sometime in the end of the week, this is signed, and it looks like when it comes to TikTok in the US, it's going to be all domestically owned and operated. It's interesting, and it'll also have the interoperability, as she says, to the other countries. This is what she said.
Point. Under the terms of this deal, TikTok will be owned by a majority of American investors and controlled by a board of directors with extensive national security and cybersecurity credentials. In partnership with the U.S. government, Oracle will serve as TikTok's trusted security provider, and they will independently monitor the safety and data security of all U.S. user data on TikTok's platform. Americans' data will be stored securely in the United States without access from China. All U.S. user data will be stored on servers operated by Oracle in the United States, protected from surveillance or interference by foreign adversaries. And the algorithm, I know this is a question many of you have had, will be secured, retrained, and operated in the United States outside of ByteDance's control. And TikTok will remain globally interoperable, meaning TikTok users in the US will be able to see videos posted by users in other countries and vice versa. While I don't have a number on the specific deal, we do expect that thanks to the president's leadership and the securement of this historic deal, businesses using TikTok will generate as much as $178 billion in economic activity within the US over the next 4 years. So this is great news, not just for the millions of American youth who use TikTok. Their data will be safe and secure with this new deal. They'll continue to use this very fun app. But it's also great news for all of the small business owners who have really been able to make a living off of the use of TikTok as well.
Huge news for TikTok. TikTok is going to have many of the right things done for it here in the US, and it is going to be domestically secured and retrained, and it will continue to run and be used in the US. Huge news for TikTok. That's an interesting bit of news there. I use it myself before I came here. I was on TikTok for some time doing similar news. I may at some point start doing live streams and readings for people myself on TikTok. I was waiting to see what would happen with it, and it seems TikTok is going to continue. So I was quite sure the M2, like the new platform that was somewhat announced, would come around, but it did not. TikTok does not seem to be getting banned, and it looks like it's going to continue. So, huge news for TikTok and so many people in the US that TikTok is going to continue. And that's huge for small businesses and the like. So many things related to TikTok. It's being done right here in the US. Now we have further news. Let's talk about the weather. This I just saw not long ago. This is very interesting. I suppose we're nearing the end of hurricane season, but look at this. We have a 50% chance of development here with this one. And then this is right near the Caribbean. It looks like it's going to slam Florida, possibly go across it to Louisiana and maybe parts of Houston. We'll see. And then we have this massive development right behind Gabrielle, Hurricane Gabrielle. And this development, it's way out here, and its track is headed straight for DC and New York. It has a track that's headed straight for the northeast of the United States. Huge, huge development, disturbance as they call it. 80% chance of cyclone formation in 7 days. So it's in the central tropic Atlantic. Shower and thunderstorm activity associated with a tropical wave located about midway between the Lesser Antilles and the Cabo Verde Islands continues to increase. Environmental conditions are forecast to become more favorable for development by tomorrow, and a tropical depression is likely to form on Wednesday or Thursday while the system moves northwestward to northwestward across the central Atlantic. Yeah, this is going to, it could hit the Carolinas, it could hit DC, New York. It's probably going to hit New York. This is a massive potential problem that could happen. And it looks like it is going to develop. So I'll definitely be watching this. It's likely to form within the next 2 or 3 days. And then after that, it could strengthen and hit the Northeast. We'll see exactly where its track goes and all of that. I believe in other news related to this, we have quite a winter. I believe they call it a La Nina that could form more, making it a more brutal winter for the northern hemisphere. So we could have another brutal winter that is approaching, another La Nina type winter. Let me see about a few other things. Bit of further news. Oh, we have France and Portugal. France and Portugal are now recognizing a Palestinian state near Gaza in that area. So that's an interesting bit of news. Uh, all air traffic at Denmark's largest airport in Copenhagen has been closed after large drone sightings. So we have all of that on top of everything. Oh, and then we have Russia saying there's no more nuclear arms control, meaning there's no more treaties. So there's no more like nuclear arms treaties. I believe it's New Start. That treaty is about to expire, I believe, in 2026. I think Russia was saying they might want to start that again. That would be just to pretty much deceive the U.S. because Russia would just continue building nuclear weapons more and using them. They're probably going to use them very soon. So it's pretty much to try to trick the U.S. and maybe some other Western countries to decrease their nuclear development and weapons, to make the West pretty much put their guard down. So that's just about all the news for right now. I will be back soon with further updates and news. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope to see you all on the next one. Love, light, and blessings to you all. Thanks for watching.